Hi, Sag Rising friends. I'm Lisa from Trails Edge Astrology, and this is your astrology and tarot horoscope for this beautiful new moon in Cancer. The new moon is happening today, Friday, July 5th at 5:57 Central Time, adjust for your time zone, of course. So the new moon shapes the upcoming month, or wherever it falls. It shapes the entire lunation cycle. And so it's interesting to look at what's happening around the new moon to help us understand what and where we might see some of these archetypes come up. So, Cancer new moons always bring up emotions. They're deeply, deeply feeling, they're sensitive, they're imaginative, they're dreamy, they're all of those things, nurturing. Cancer is the divine mother. So that nurture and self-care, all that is really important during Cancer new moons. And for you, Sag risings, this Cancer new moon falls in your 8th house. Now, you always have Cancer in your 8th house, so this isn't anything you're not used to living with. It's just a month and a moment to give a little more focus to that energy and what you might want to bring in. So the 8th house is about emotional and financial entanglements. It's about emotional vulnerability. It's, on a 3D world level, it's about commitments and contracts. So it's also the house of endings. But again, you always have Cancer in your 8th house. So so it's not going to be any particular ending necessarily, just an invitation to end some things that need to end. But the 8th house is very much about how we care for ourselves as we integrate with other people, particularly with Cancer in this placement. So this new moon is also being shaped by this Mercury-Pluto opposition that just happened on Wednesday, and I did a 1-minute astrology on that if you want to go back and listen for more information on what this opposition means. In short, we're going to have 3 planets oppose Pluto this month. Well, Mercury on Wednesday, Venus and the Sun will come up to oppose Pluto. And, Pluto has just moved into Aquarius, and this is highlighting what changes we are bringing in, what kinds of revolution is happening within our worlds. So for you, Sag risings, Pluto is in your 3rd house at the moment. And so, at the moment, for the next 20 years, Pluto's in your 3rd house. And the 3rd house is about communication. It's about information and mental faculties. It can be about siblings and peers and neighbors and kind of those local kinds of things. It can be informal learning and teaching. But I wonder, particularly with Mercury opposing Pluto, which would be a 3rd house, 9th house split, I wonder if there's not some way you're being called to think about how you're communicating ideas or information, or what really makes sense in terms of your communication style. So something to think about, and something certainly that is coloring this new moon. We also have a Mars-Saturn sextile that I think is going to help shape this new moon and give it a little bit of discipline. Mars is our ability to enact our will in the world, and Saturn gives us some grounding and structure around that. Saturn's in a watery sign right now. Mars is an earthy sign. So, but I think it'll give it some grounding stability. A Mars Saturn sextile is a nice thing, and and that's nice because another big facet of this lunar cycle is the Mars Uranus conjunction, which is going to happen in Taurus. It will be perfect on July 15th, but I think we'll start feeling it certainly into early next week if we're not feeling it already. And so Mars likes to go fast and Uranus likes to go faster, but they're in Taurus, and Taurus is not a particularly quick-moving sign. So sometimes I say that Mars in Taurus is the bull in the china shop, and if we go with that analogy, Uranus is the cattle prod. So So I would certainly expect the unexpected, particularly around the middle of the month. Expect some changes and shifts. And unexpected isn't necessarily bad, it's just unexpected. For you, this energy is showing up in your sixth house. And this goes really probably all year. You've been doing some work in the sixth house, and we had the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Taurus in April, and the eclipses in April were ruled by this sign. And so, so I think there's some renovation and restructuring probably happening around your daily habits and routines, maybe like your like work routine, not necessarily your job, but your work routine, how you function throughout the day. It's going to also be health related. So there might be some renovation of how you take care of yourself in ways you might take care of yourself. I always, Taurus has, or I'm sorry, Uranus has been in Taurus for, I think the last 6 years. And so this is not new to sixth house issues, but with Mars there, if there are any health issues or if there are any health concerns, certainly get yourself to the doctor. Sixth house is not a place to mess around if you're concerned about anything. I'm not predicting anything. That is just one manifestation, but also a real invitation to shake up your daily structure, or maybe your self-care routine, how you take care of yourself. Any of those kinds of things could be coming in with this Mars Uranus conjunction. And again, as I mentioned, it's feeding off of that Jupiter Uranus conjunction that happened in April, and just giving some legs to that energy. So I think for you in particular, Sag rising, the order of the month is introspection, really feeling into your body, checking in with your body, checking your heart and your gut, making sure you feel safe and secure. Certainly there are opportunities to venture out, and if it feels right, you should do that, but just really tune in and listen to yourself as you go into this month. All right, let's see what the cards have to tell us to help clarify this message. Yeah, let's see what the cards have to say. So we are reading from the Mind's Eye Tarot by Olivia Rose. I got this deck a couple months ago at Hazel Jane in Effingham, Illinois, and I love it. So I've been using it a lot, and I thought it would be fun to use today. I am doing a new moon spread that I use in my own practice, but I don't think I've ever done on this channel, so I'd be curious to hear what you think about it. Obviously, it's one I like, but you tell me. 5 cards, and then we're going to finish with pulling an oracle card from the Season of the Witch Litha oracle deck. And this deck is, so the Seasons of the Witch they produce decks for all of the solstices and equinoxes, and cross quarter days, and kind of like working into the flavor of the energy. And so that's fun. The solstice was just on July 20th, on June 20th. And so the solstice is solar, but I work with that energy through the first new moon in Cancer, as kind of that solstice time. So we're going to use that deck for our oracle piece. All right, so let's get going. So where are you now? Let me move this so that I can see, make sure you can see the cards. All right, where are you now? You got the Knight of Swords. So knights move quickly, and swords are about information and ideas, and the Knight of Swords can be pretty reckless. It can be really fast-moving, and sometimes the Knight of Swords can be about like moving forward with an idea, but there's not a lot of emotion behind it. It's just like, this is right, this is ethical, this is the thing to do, and just barreling through in a way that might not be checking in with your body, which we said with all that sixth house energy is something that you are being invited to really do during this whole year, honestly, but certainly in the spring through this lunar cycle. So I wonder if there's just something, if you're moving fast, if you're get there no glare, if you're moving fast, if you're maybe like going with your head but not checking in with your heart, and yeah, so and if there might be a reckless quality to what you're doing, and maybe good, maybe bad. I'm not saying that. That's just where you are now. You're moving fast and you're really in an intellectual space and not necessarily in a heart space. All right. What is blocking your growth at the moment? And what we got is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is a card about moving on. It's about um, like things have happened and you're just like you're out of there. And normally I wouldn't say this is a bad card. Like moving on after wounding, like that's a good thing. But there's something about this blocking your growth, and I wonder with this Knight of Swords if maybe you're not moving on too quickly, or if you're not, swords again. You got two swords. Um, if this isn't more of an intellectual exercise rather than like sitting, like maybe there's something you need to work through, maybe something has happened and you need to kind of like feel it and integrate it and metabolize it in your body, but instead you're just moving on, you're just like going. So there might be some block to your growth by not stopping and paying attention to that. And I think that's interesting with the Cancer, with the moon in your eighth house, which is a very emotional, watery house. And then all of this energy in your sixth house, where Taurus is, asking you to reform and really reintegrate and feel into your body and your emotions. So that's interesting. Yeah, so I'm curious about that. Are you moving on from something without fully processing, like a spiritual bypassing kind of thing, or just like, are you like, I can't deal with that, I'm done, and there's something about that not dealing, not integrating, that is blocking you from moving on to the next chapter. So, what intentions will help you move forward? You got the Hanged Man. So, in contrast to the Knight of Swords that moves fast, the Hangman is slow. The Hangman is patient. The Hangman is surrender. So I think this is a real invitation to sit where you are, um, even if it's uncomfortable or uncertain. That there's just some advantage to being in place, to really to I keep coming back to your body because I feel like that's with the sixth house energy. Like there's something you need to be paying attention to about how you live day to day. It could be, it could be your diet. It could be your exercise routine. It could be, are you getting enough sleep? Are you taking care of your mental health? Any of those kinds of things. So there's something about in this lunar cycle, an invitation to sit still and um, to not barrel through, to not just keep going, but really to sit and feel whatever you need to feel, to integrate with your body whatever you need to integrate. So that would be the intention that I would recommend, is that even though you feel like maybe moving quickly, like maybe it's time for a pause. And the knowledge that you require in this process is the Empress. And the Empress is the divine feminine. So this is the symbol for Venus. So she represents Venus. And so she is all about that, that most feminine of energy. And let me pull up 78 Secrets by Rachel Pollack. I looked up when I pulled these cards, I looked up the Empress just to think about what I might want to say with that. And Rachel says that the High Priestess, which is the card before, which is not the one you got, is the mental side of the feminine archetype, and her deep intuitive understanding. But the Empress is pure emotion. So so yeah, so whereas a High Priestess is more mental and more more in her head, this is about emotion. So there's something about emotion and something about feeling your feelings that you need to know that that's a part of this process and this journey. And I'm really encouraging you to pause and feel what's in your heart. Just see what's there and see how it shows up for you. All right, and what is the emerging positive energy if you do all this? So for that, you got the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is an interesting card about boundaries. So, and about protecting what is yours, defending what is yours. So, so I think if you can, you've been going fast, if you can slow down a little bit, if you can feel and not be inclined to push or try and get something to move, that you will have some security and some and be able to just protect your space and sit in your space in a way that lets you achieve some success in all of this. The Seven of Wands, wands are fire energy, but I'm still going back to the sixth house work, and like this feels like by sitting still, by really processing emotions, that you really get some grounding and stability, and you figure out what it is, how you need to live in your body, what you need to metabolize through your body, how to hear your heart and your head, and bring those out into the world in whatever way that looks like for you, whatever it is you're trying to bring in through this cycle. All right, so the solstice card we got is the Sun Salutation. Can't read that, sort of. So it says, praise the temple that carries your spirit. Support is needed, which I think is such a fabulous sixth house card. So let me read a little bit from the guidebook. It says, receiving this card is an immediate call to make self-care a priority, especially if you have experienced struggles in manifesting more abundance or love in your life. You will find the solutions or answers to your questions with greater ease after making time for proper rest and better nutrition or taking a break. There is no need to look a certain way or attempt to mold yourself into unrealistic beauty standards. All that is required is finding a way to support your body to facilitate a feeling of vitality, energy, and strength. This will be different for different people, so listen to your body and let it guide you to what feels best. So interesting with this sixth house transformational energy, this transformation of your daily habits, your routines, your self-care, your health, that the cards are, again, reflecting that, the importance of all of that. So, my Sagittarian friends, I hope that this has been helpful. And if you are still here listening, would you please give me a like or a subscribe? Helps me get my message out, helps me grow the channel, and lets me know you're out there. So, again, I hope this helps. Take what works, leave the rest, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.